Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global TV. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. Now the news in full. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, stated that the insecurity level in the country has reduced drastically since President Bola Tinubu took office on May 29, 2023. Akpabio made this statement while contributing to a debate on a motion regarding the recent killing in Benue State. He noted that while the latest attack was an aberration, there was a recorded decrease in the frequency of major killings across the country. The motion was sponsored by Senator Emmanuel Odende, APC Benue Northeast. The Senate also resolved to compile all resolutions regarding killings across the country for presentation to President Tinubu. In continuation of measures to address the food inflation and cost of living crisis, the federal government said it had so far intercepted 141 trucks attempting to smuggle grains and other staples to Niger Republic, Chad, Cameroon, and the Central Africa Republic. The Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Bashir Adeniyi, said that the service had within 2 weeks arrested about 120 trucks smuggling food items from Nigeria, while the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission stopped 21 food trucks from leaving the country. As the CG was disclosing the measures being enforced to ensure food security at the House of Representatives in Abuja, truck drivers who have been targets of attack by hoodlums had threatened to declare a strike if the situation persisted. Federal Ministry of Labor Employment has sensitized the residents of Katsina State on the need to acquire skills and vocational education to be self-reliant. The campaign, organized by the Ministry's Skills Development and Certification Department, is part of its apprenticeship and traineeship attestation program in the Northwest Zone and Katsina Town in particular. During the tour of various training centers in Katsina Town, the Deputy Director of Skill Development and Certification Department, Engineer Tiza Chila Shikau, has said the exercise was to encourage young Nigerians to embrace apprenticeship and handiwork. The House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the national security implications of the current status of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and other digital asset transactions. This followed the adoption of a motion by Rep. Isiaka Ibrahim, APC Ogun, during plenary in Abuja. Moving the motion, Isiaka said that there are global concerns about the internal security implications of cryptocurrency transactions through cryptocurrency exchanges, including consumer and investor security. Adopting the motion, the House said it would investigate international money transfer operators, payment gateways, and platforms in cloud computing. The House of Representatives has summoned the Minister of Blue Economy, Gboyega Oyetola, and his transportation counterpart, Seidu Alkali, over alleged fraudulent concession of some parts of infrastructure, also invited for questioning as the Managing Director, Nigerian Ports Authority, Mohammed Bello Koko. The Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprise, Maman Ahmadu, as well as the Director General of Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, Michael Ohini, among others. The Chairman of the House Committee on Privatization and Commercialization, Ibrahim Hamisu, APC Kaduna, issued the summons at a meeting with the seaport terminators in Abuja. The lawmakers lamented the absence of top government officials to explain their role in concession of the seaport terminals. The Edo State of Assembly commenced impeachment proceedings against the State Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu, the majority leader Charity Agbegborihem, who announced the impeachment notice during plenary. So the petition dated March 5th was signed by 21 out of 24 members against the Deputy Governor. He also stated that the petition was based on 2 grounds: perjury and revealing of government secrets. The Speaker of the House, Blessing Agbebako, who acknowledged receipt of petition, directed the Clerk of the House, Yahya Omogbai, to serve Shaibu the impeachment notice. Agbebako also gave the Deputy Governor 7 days to respond to the notice of impeachment. The Minister of Health from African countries with the highest burden of malaria have committed accelerate action to end deaths from the disease. This is contained in a statement issued by the World Health Organization, WHO. The ministers gathering in Yaoundé, Cameroon, signed a declaration committing to provide stronger leadership and increase domestic funding for malaria control programs. They also pledged to ensure further investments in data technology, apply the latest technical guidance to malaria control and elimination, and enhance malaria control efforts at the national and subnational levels. The minister also pledged to substantively and equally address the threat of malaria in the African region, which accounts for 95% of malaria deaths globally. The Nigerian Customs Service Sokoto Zamfara Area Command says it's on standby for the reopening of Nigeria-Niger border at Ilela, Sokoto State. The Customs Area Controller Kamal Mohammed, while on working visit at the border post, said he was at the station to ensure that all was set and in anticipation of the last order. The comptroller, who was accompanied by the management team while addressing stakeholders at the entry point, said with the lift of ECOWAS sanctions on Niger Republic and subsequent restoration of power supply to Niger Republic, the service will ensure all is set towards the reopening of the Ilela border while awaiting the last order. And now the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja on Wednesday struck out an appeal by the federal government filed to reopen the trial of the former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzor Kalu. The appellate court, in a unanimous decision by the three-member panel of justices, held that the record of appeal federal government transmitted before it was incompetent. In a lead verdict that was delivered by Justice J.O.K. Oyiwole, the court held that federal government failed to properly transmit the record as prescribed by its extant rules, adding that it was neither stamped nor the official designation of the person who signed it indicated. You're watching Midday News coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using that Global TV and other handles now showing on your screen. When Midday News return, Nigerian exchange leads in Africa with 33.70% gain. This and other more stories coming right after this break. Do stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of Midday News. Thank you for staying with us. Over now to our foreign scene, the window of Russia opposition leader Alexei Navalny's window, Yulia Navalnaya, has urged people to join mass election day protests against President Vladimir Putin. According to a video on YouTube, Navalnaya called on Russia to gather at polling stations on March 17th and spoil their ballots or vote against Putin. Putin is contesting for his fifth term in office and stands a chance to win after he has allegedly terminated his critics and rivals. Navalnaya promised to continue the work of her husband, Putin's toughest opponent, who died last month in an Arctic prison colony. Russia has said it does not recognize arrest warrants issued by the International Criminal Court, ICC, for two top Russian commanders named Sergei Kublash and Viktor Salklov over alleged war crimes in Ukraine. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Pozorov said they are not parties to the Rome Statute and do not recognize it. This is the second time warrants have been issued for Russians over the war in Ukraine. Posklov said the fact that Russia was not a signatory to the Rome Statute, the international treaty which created the ICC, meant Russia did not recognize the warrants. Thousands of Indian farmers are trying to march once again to the capital Delhi to demand minimum price guaranteed for their crops. The farmers have suspended their strike at the end of February after a young farmer died during the protest. To prevent the march, Delhi's border are heavily barricaded and police have been deployed. The farmers' protests have restarted even as India is just months away from holding general elections. When the farmers' protests first resumed in the beginning of February, the government had held talks with unions to stop them from marching to Delhi from the neighboring states of Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, talks with the government broke at least 3 times after the authorities could not meet all of their demands. Peru's Prime Minister Alberto Artarola has resigned over allegations he attempted to use his influence to help a woman gain lucrative government contracts. The scandal escalated last week when Peruvian TV broadcaster aired audio clips of what it said were conversations between the two. Artarola, 57, has denied any wrongdoings. A formal investigation has been launched into the allegations. According to the Panorama program, which first aired the clip over the weekend, the woman Artarola can be heard speaking to Yerzir Penado, 25. Penado was reportedly awarded 2 contracts for work in the Defense Ministry in 2023 that earned her a total of 53,000 SOR, 14,000 11,000 euros. Artarola was Peru's defense minister until the end of 2022 when President Dina Boluarte took office and he was promoted. A quick look at business. The federal government has declared that it will withdraw the operating license of power distribution companies that were intentionally not supplying electricity to consumers across the country, leading to the widespread blackout in Nigeria. It stated that despite efforts by the Federal Ministry of Power and Electricity Generating Companies, some DISCOs were not distributing the power supplied to them by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, which had resulted in AMEL supply since this year. Power supply across the country has been terrible since January 2024, as many towns and cities nationwide have been thrown into darkness for weeks due to the lack of electricity. As of January, the CBN announced that it had cleared $2 billion of the forex backlog and paid $61.64 million to foreign airlines operating in the country from their trapped funds. Unveiling this policy mandate at the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria 58th Annual Bankers Dinner and Grand Finale of the Institute's 60th anniversary held in Lagos last year, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, revealed out his plans to strengthen investors' confidence, attract capital inflow, stimulate domestic investment, and ultimately improve the level of external reserves. One of the challenges that Cardoso promised to address was the issue of foreign exchange backlogs. The CBN was owing investors over $7 billion in unmet forex demand, which made the likes of Emirates Airlines suspend their operations in the country. On entertainment, a K-pop star has issued a glowing apology after licensed incensed fans accused her of betrayal because she has a boyfriend. The fans reportedly drove a truck to pop star Karina's agency after finding out she was dating actor Lee Ji-wook. Promising to show a more mature and hardworking side in future, the 23-year-old wrote, "The singer, real name Yoo Ji-min, has led the 4 women aspirants since their debut in 2020 with the single Black Mamba. Last year, their record-breaking album, My World, sold 2.1 million copies in South Korea. This is not an isolated incident. However, pop stars in South Korea and Japan work in notoriously suppressing industries where such personal revolutions can be tricky to navigate." In sports, Pep Guardiola said Manchester City have earned their place among the perennial contenders of Champions League glory after reaching the quarterfinals for a 7th consecutive season on Wednesday. Guardiola could even afford the luxury of resting a host of star names in a 3-1 victory over FC Copenhagen at the Etihad that completed a 6-2 aggregate rout. Goals from Manuel Akanji and Julian Alvarez killed the tie as a contest inside 10 minutes before Erling Haaland drilled in his 29th goal of the season. Stephen Curry scored 29 points as the Golden State Warriors bounced back from their catastrophic defeat in Boston to rout the Milwaukee Bucks 125-90. The Warriors suffered one of the most humiliating defeats in franchise history on Sunday, losing by a staggering 52 points margin in a 140-88 loss to the Celtics. But the 7-time NBA champions came roaring back with a vengeance to blow past the informed Bucks with an epileptic win at San Francisco's Chase Center. And that's it on Midday News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using at Global TV NG and the handles now showing on your screen. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. See you again. Good afternoon.